Hi there. I'm just doing this quick video as a companion to the article, and I'm going to skip over an awful lot of stuff because there's a lot of detail here. But that's why you would read the article, just to get into the weeds, as it were. But the main points are: firstly, we're at the last leg of a long-term property cycle. Not every city is booming when it comes to the localized market. Property, the volume or the price of property has seen a small decline. But when you look at the local market in Manchester, for example, for first time buyers, it's still amazingly robust and hectic and so on. And so the first thing is this article, which I talk about the long term, the property cycle. It's a very important concept. It's worth reading about. Essentially, it's predictable, and uh, it's been running for numerous times, at least what, 4 or 5 times this century. Um, then you also have the long-term debt cycle, and the gist about that is that every time we have a recession, interest rates drop to the point where they're zero, and that's where we're at now. Now, the problem with that is that everyone gets very highly indebted, and there has to be some kind of reset. And this happened, for example, in the 30s. And then we had the Second World War and so on. And then that was really the Bretton Woods financial system was the rebirth of the modern economic system that we have today. And arguably, based on some very clever people talking about this, we're in for another big reset at some point. And then I get into how affordability has become unreasonably low. Okay, moving on. Then there was a story here from BBC about a place called Middlesbrough, and this just shows you that not every area in England is doing all right. Some places are not all right at all. And in Middlesbrough, for example, if you'd bought in 2007, which is also the same period I'm using as a frame of reference for this data, then you would be probably 40% down. And this is all to do with the local economy and people not competing to buy property in this area. Um, it's quite a complicated thing about how I do all the calculations, but all you really need to know is that if the number is above zero, it means that house prices in real inflation adjusted terms were as high as 2007, which was the last peak in the last cycle. And Manchester has done very well overall, and large parts are more prices have gone up above the 2007 high. Liverpool, they just haven't got anywhere, and Birmingham is very patchy. So my main point is that not everywhere is good, but some places are. About 15% of all areas, I would say, are worth really looking at, and the rest I would disqualify for low long-term capital growth, for example, and potentially weak local economies, or just being unaffordable because the price has to be right for it to be able to yield appropriately. And then my thesis is that if we look forward, I think that this government, the Conservatives, will push very hard on keeping property prices high, and they'll try and stimulate the housing market, even though we've got lots of trouble with Brexit. And the reason is people who own property vote Conservative. When they think they're more valuable because their house price is high, then they carry on feeling good, even though there's chaos with stuff like Brexit, and we've seen that with fuel shortages and so on because of a lack of immigration, actually. And then we have median house prices, and what I'm saying is that overall, if we say that property in Manchester will grow to maybe half that of London, which I think it could do, then I could see prices topping out at around 250. So, and also finally, there's a lot of interest in property at the moment. So these are Google graphs just showing interest in Rightmove and Zoopla, and then we're also looking at number of transactions. So essentially, not a massive number of transactions, spikes, but the market is relatively stable. But with Manchester being very hot. All right, thank you.